All right, guys. Moving on. We're gonna do an NFC East draft right now. NFC, starting with NFC least, because they've been ranked as the worst division the past couple seasons, and we want to give them some love. But we'll be doing this with every division, and I'll go over the rules right now. So we are gonna take turns drafting a team, and you guys are gonna have to vote which team is the better build. So we have to draft at least one quarterback, one running back, two wide receivers, and then a tight end. And then also you pick a whole team's O line, D line, and secondary. And we're each going to start off with the coach choosing. So who we'll do a random generator to see who goes first, Brendan or I. And then we'll take turns. We don't have to go QB, QB. That's the fun of it. So we have to pick two Eagles, at least two Eagle items. Brendan, how do you feel about that? Scared?
I did my research. I'm ready.
Did your research? It's like what if you get the Eagles O line? We talked shit about them last week.
Yeah.
I don't want to get stuck with that. Do you go O line first pick? Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'll pull up a wheel spinner right now on Google. Put our names on it, and whoever doesn't get the first pick gets to pick their coach, which is just a fun part. Doesn't really help the team. I mean, I guess if it was the AFC East and you got Belichick, it kind of helps your team. Okay, so I'm going to spin right now. All right, and it looks like Brendan will get the first pick. Okay, so I'll pick my coach first. I'm gonna have to go with my guy Joe Judge leading the Jarod NFC East team. Man showed great leadership abilities his first year at the Giants, and I expect him to do that this year with the chemistry building that locker room, got them to compete in every game. And I want him to bring that out in my team I'm going to draft right now. Brendan?
I'm going to take Ron Rivera. You see what he's done with this Washington football team.
Yeah.
He adopted the culture, he embraced it, and they made the playoffs last year. And hell, they almost beat Tom Brady in the wild card round. So I welcome you with open arms, Ron Rivera. Let's get this thing done. Let's go.
Good, great pick right there, the Puerto Rican. And yeah, I can't argue that, but I had to go with my Giants bias. So, Brendan, you're on the clock. We take with the first pick in the NFC East draft.
And with the first pick of the Jarod divisional created draft, Team Rivera picks Dak Prescott,
Yeah,
quarterback. Now
I saw this coming. Explain your pick.
Now the reason why is because he's a top 10 quarterback in this league. There's no denying that. And when you look at all four teams, when you look at the Giants, when you look at the Eagles, when you look at the Washington football team, you look at the Cowboys, who's the best player in it? Who's the most, who means the most? What's the most pivotal position? And who's the most pivotal player? It's Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got to say.
Enough said. Yeah, I mean, Dak. If I was picking first, I would have picked him too. The man was lights out at the first 5 weeks he was playing last year. He was on pace to shatter the passing record, and then fortunately, had that gruesome injury, and finally got paid this year. So if he can make that Cowboys team of last year look good that first couple of games, he's definitely the cream of crop of quarterbacks in the NFL. He's probably top 10 at least. And so it's no brainer to pick them as your, first pick in the NFC East. So me, would go QB, but I think I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna go out and have to take Saquon Barkley first. And Barkley's he's back from his injury ACL. He is the face of the Giants, and he's my boy. First off, and I saw this stat on Instagram of his last season with Odell Beckham Jr. when he was on the team, and his numbers were incredible. Barkley. So that's Barkley with a number one receiver match with them. And the Giants haven't had that since Odell. And now they got, Kenny Golladay, who I assume could get drafted eventually. So, Saquon, I have him coming out, bounce back year. The running game is strong, no matter who the O line is going to be. So that's why I picked Barkley. Your thoughts, Brendan?
Yeah, you're getting a guy that is going to go out there and, he's a top 3 running back in this league. And you can firmly argue that he's better than a Zeke. And obviously, since the fact that you took him over Zeke, you're going to say the same thing. And you're going to get someone that is he's just an absolute savage. Like, he's going to run players over. He's going to truck. He can catch. He's just a complete force. He's a once in a lifetime talent. And I think it's going to be good for you.
All right, Brendan, you're on the clock.
And with the second pick, I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. Now, I'm a big offensive line guy. All right. You need that line. That's the wall. That's the great wall of Dallas. And I know that they weren't that good last year, but all of their play, that's heavily due to injuries. And now, like three of their tackles and left guards and such are going to be back. And I saw a Pro Football Focus ranking, and they did a re-rank with like all the healthy players, and they're top 6. They're like top 10 offensive lines in the league. They're ranked number 6 right now, currently on paper, with the healthy, with them healthy on the depth chart. To me, I couldn't pass on that. This is the O-line. This is the whole architecture around my franchise quarterback. I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys offensive line with my second pick.
Nice. I mean, that means you can't draft any more Cowboys, on your whole thing. But hey, they have a good O-line. That's what Jerry Jones has been building these past, 6 years in the draft. They've had greats retire, and they're still formidable. They're still strong. So with my next pick, I'm going to also take a Cowboy and get Amari Cooper. That's my wideout. Wideout one. And you can't argue with Cooper. He, ever since leaving the Raiders, he was disgruntled over there, comes over to the Cowboys and has balled out. So yeah, Amari Cooper, I think he's the best wide receiver in the NFC East. And, he's going to have Saquon as his running back. So the defense is not going to be able to, the play action of my team is going to go crazy. So that's why I have Cooper, wide receiver 1, Saquon, running back.
All right, Jarod. So you got Saquon and you got Coop. So you just got some 2 dynamic players. Now I'm looking at the board right now, and I got a quarterback. I got a wall. Who's he going to throw to? I got to think. He's got to throw to Kenny Golladay. I'm gonna take Kenny Golladay. I mean, Dak's got to throw the ball. He needs that wide receiver 1.
Mm-hmm.
Some can argue that he's a top 10 wide receiver. I'd say so. And you got to go out and treat your quarterback right. Give him a biscuit. And I'm taking Kenny Golladay.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was with the Lions and Detroit. His name doesn't really brought up that much because he's in Detroit on a bad team. So now being in New York, I expect him to do big things with the Giants. And, I still have Cooper over him. We can see how that goes with this, offense that the Giants have put together. And yeah, no, it's a good pick. So moving on, I am going to take from the Philadelphia Eagles and get my 3rd offensive weapon in Zach Ertz.
Great pick.
I feel like he's the best Eagle to get, and I need to get them early. So we're taking Zachary Ertz.
Great pick.
I mean, when healthy, yeah, he's good.
Yeah. When healthy, he's a top 3 tight end in the league, definitely. So you took the best Eagle off the board. Great pick.
Thank you. Your turn.
I'm gonna have to now listen. So Ron Rivera is my head coach. You got to get him some people that can go out there and ball for him. And shout out to to his D line. So I gotta take his D line. I gotta take the Washington football team D line, the big bad boys up front. Chase Young, welcome to the squad.
Uh, man, I was eyeing them too because Chase Young's there, and it's just their defense is really really good. They couldn't get to Brady in the playoffs all that much, but they still held them to the lowest amount I think he scored in that whole playoffs run in Tampa. So, great pick by you. Got the chemistry with the coach, and yeah, so far you got two Cowboys, a Giant, and a Washington football team. I've got a Giant, an Eagle, and a Cowboy. And who are we thinking? I think I'm gonna take the Giants secondary. Hear
Good
me
pick.
out. James Bradbury, Pro Bowl cornerback last year. He's ascending. Jabril Peppers, we got in the Odell trade. He's been doing great. Xavier McKinney, can't sleep on him. We just have a bunch of guys. Blake Martinez, like these guys in the secondary, they know how to play. We stopped Russell Wilson last year, and they're going to ball out for you. I trust my guys out there in the secondary. With Joe Judge as my coach, they had that chemistry too. So I think with the Giants secondary, we're set. We don't have to worry about wide receiver one. Who you got? You got Galloway. Bradbury's locking them up. Easy, easy. So got to go with the Giants secondary.
That was my next take for sure. And I'm not gonna lie with you. I was gonna take the Giants secondary. Like I had a pre-mock or whatever. If I had the
Yeah,
first pick, and I was gonna take the Giants secondary, but I took Kenny. And the reason why I took Kenny was because I felt like you wanted to pair Saquon and Kenny. I feel like that's what you wanted. And I wanted Kenny too, because you don't get a line and you don't get Dak for a number
yeah.
one receiver. So I had to get the number one receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves me at a very interesting situation right now.
You still have your running back, another receiver, a tight end, and a secondary available.
All right. So I got Dallas is off the board. So I can't take Zeke. You got Saquon. All right. Well, I need a running back. That doesn't matter right now. I'm gonna take another receiver. I'm gonna do Terry McLean from
Scary
Washington football
Terry.
team.
Yeah.
Scary Terry. He's got over 1,000 yards, and I think that wide receiving core with Dak Prescott and Kenny Galladay and Scary Terry. I think that's gonna do some damage.
No, yeah, he was definitely I think the third best. Hold on, I start that over. Yeah, no, I definitely think he was or is the third best receiver in this division. And he was wide out one for the football team, and he's got the elite speed, and he's got the agility, and you go out there and ball. So it's a great pick, great pick. Now it's my turn. I could use so I still need a quarterback. Hmm. All right, I think I'm going to go with the Washington football team's O line. And, they don't really have, the names. I mean, they have Eric Flowers, for God's sake, former Giant. But, I'm definitely not taking the Eagles O line. And the Giants O line is suspect, very suspect. And, they have Darren Payne. They have guys who, protect their quarterback. Like I've watched him play. And, Taylor Heineke was, doing good against the Bucks, who won the Super Bowl with this O line. And, they won the division with this O line last season. So I feel like I had to take them as O line. They're the next best option. And I just not comfortable taking the Giants or the Eagles.
Nice pick. And moving on for me, I need a running back. So I have Dak Prescott. I have the Great Wall of Dallas. I have the two receivers that I just got, Scary Terry, and I got
You got to pick from either the Eagles
yeah.
or the Giants here.
So I'm gonna do the Eagles right now. I'm gonna take their running back, Miles Sanders.
Hmm.
He had 867 yards. You plug him in this top 10, arguably top 5 offensive line. I'm going to put money on the fact that he's going to break 1,000. So he's going to go in there. He's the guy that's going to work hard and he's going to run the ball well. So I'm going to take Miles Sanders for me.
Yeah, he had a great game against the Giants 2 seasons ago. I remember he did the spin move on like Monday Night Football. But yeah, they've been waiting for him to break out. And is that because of the line, because the team's been bad? I don't know, but it's a running back position. He's, typically drafted in fantasy football in like the first couple of rounds due to his ability to score touchdowns for the Eagles. So great pick for the Eagles there. And now it's my turn. I'm looking at the list. Can't draft any from the Giants. Um, think looking at my options here. There's not many options remaining. As this is the NFC least. I feel like with different divisions, it could be easier. And I don't want to have to do this. Tough. This is tough. I'm debating. Debating. All right. You know what? I'm gonna take the Eagles D line. Hear me out. You gotta hear me out on this one. They still got Brandon Graham. Remember, he forced a fumble against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. They got Fletcher Cox, the big boy. He's still doing it. He's aging. So they got vets. And, just the names alone on that team. Like, I don't see and with the other options, like I would have picked the Giants at that opportunity with, Leonard Williams and those guys, Tomlinson. So with possible eliminations, either them or the Cowboys. And the Cowboys defense wasn't that good last year. I mean, neither was the Eagles, but
You could, yeah, no, yeah.
yeah, so I'm taking the Eagles D line.
Okay. Okay. So moving on for me, I gotta do a secondary. All right. And
Mm-hmm.
I gotta do a secondary, but I can't do the Cowboys. And I also need to do what else do I have to do? I need a
Have to do the
secondary.
Giants or the.
Yeah.
So I think
I
you're
just need a
stuck.
secondary and that's it. It's either I can't do the Giants because you do the Giants. So
Yeah, you gotta do the
it's
Eagles,
either
man.
it's either the Eagles or the football team, right?
No, got the football team D line
Oh
and
yeah, yeah,
Scary
yeah, yeah.
Terry.
So
So you're
okay,
stuck.
so I'm getting the Eagles secondary. So I'm gonna get torn apart there. They were ranked
And
20th overall. So that's gonna be my strong suit on my team.
I mean, 20th overall,
Or
not the worst.
my weak suit on my team.
It's a weak suit. Your offense is crazy though. I'm sure they could carry. You still got a tight end available, and if you want, you could just say who you're gonna get right now.
Oh,
Evan
on the
Ingram.
I have to yeah, Evan Ingram,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's Pro Bowler, Pro Bowler. I get it. I'm not sold on him yet. Like it's been so many years with the Giants, but I'm not sold. He drops the passes too many times, and you get paid to catch. Not sold on Ingram, but he's still. And if the first this draft is in the perfect world, Evan Ingram's a great pick. So you got the speed, and he's got the athletic ability. So I'm gonna round out my board now too. I need to pick from the Washington football team, and I need to pick from the Cowboys. So at QB, I have to pick Fitzmagic here. Gotta go with Ryan Fitzpatrick at QB.
You took Fitz over Danny Dime. Oh, well, you can't take
I
anyone else
can't,
yet.
yeah. It's the rules, man. And that's the risk I took by getting the Giants secondary and Saquon. I mean, Danny Dimes, I might have still taken Ryan Fitzpatrick over Daniel Jones based on the past couple seasons alone. Like this is to win right now. And Fitzpatrick, has that ability to win right now. Daniel Jones for the next 10 years, yeah, I'd pick Daniel Jones over Ryan Fitzpatrick. But right now, Daniel Jones still turnover prone, still can't be trusted. So I gotta take Ryan Fitzpatrick here. And he's gonna energize his team. He's gonna put on a show for the crowd. And I'm liking my team. So now at wide receiver, I must take a Cowboy. And we already got Cooper. So I'm looking at their options now. Who's on their roster currently? Looks like, a sleeper pick right here. CD Lamb. That's totally forgot about him. CD Lamb. We got the speed. I love this offense now. So yeah, Cowboys, they have a great wide receiving core as well. And the defense scares me for next season. But based on like who we drafted, like the Cowboys have like the best guys, I would say. They like, the top like 5 picks we had were Cowboy players, and they're either the quarterback. We could have taken Zeke, but with the rules applied, Cooper, it's just they had guys there. And I feel like this division has the potential to be better. It's just they beat up on each other and they make mistakes and they all have like very glaring weakness. And that's why the NFC least. Brendan, your thoughts on CD Lamb?
CD Lamb, an absolute dynamic player. I like how you saved your Cowboys for the receivers. You're like, all right, like I'm gonna spoil Fitzmagic with my receivers. You got two amazing players. You got Coop and you got CD Lamb. And CD Lamb, he I think he was just shy of 1,000-yard season, right? He was like 900 yards, right? Which
Yeah.
is absolutely impressive for a rookie quarterback. Or I'm sorry, I'm tripping right now. A rookie wide
Yeah.
receiver,
Mm-hmm.
which is, and CD Lamb, he's an absolute beast. He can catch, he can stretch the field, he can run, he's elusive, and that's everything that you want. So I'm liking this squad. I'm very interested that you took Fitz. Is that just the outcome of it, or like who was your QB1 in this? Like, how did this happen?
I mean, going into the pre-research, before we hopped on, I would have taken Dak with the first overall pick if I had the chance. And if not, it was either going to be uh, Jalen Hurts or Fitzpatrick. I mean, Daniel Jones. Like, I'm still not sold on him completely. He he proved something to me the when he beat the Cowboys the last week of the season. Proved something to me. Put us in position to potentially win the division. But he's still not there yet. And this is his season to either show us what he's got or not. Because we drafted Tomas out of Florida Gators. We signed Galladay when we could have gotten O line, and we trade with the Bears. We trade back with the Bears, and we have a first round pick next year. And like you alluded to when this happened, it's maybe if Daniel Jones sucks, we draft a quarterback with that pick. So it's just a lot of question marks with Daniel Jones right now. If it's magic, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get someone who loves the game of football, who's going to try his hardest. And he wants to win. Man has really been in the playoffs as a starter. His best chances with the Dolphins, they didn't start him, and he put it with the Jets. That's more of like a Jets choke, not really him choke.
I
As a
mean, he
whole,
he
yeah, he choked.
he's holding the touchdown record. He has the most amount of touchdowns for the New York Jets, which is unbelievable. I believe it's
Mm.
32 or 33.
So yeah, no, and with a team around it, like let me go over let me read you the team I got right now, and then we'll go over yours. QB Fitzmagic, running back Saquon Barkley, wide receivers Amari Cooper, CD Lamb, tight end Zach Ertz, and the O line Washington football team. And the D line, we got the Eagles, and secondary, we got the Giants. So I feel like on both sides of the ball, we're complete. We don't really have a weakness other than maybe our D line could be abused. But overall, I'm liking the team.
Yeah, I'm liking your team a lot. I think it's very interesting with how the cards have fell. And I think I got to agree with you with the Fitz Magic kind of thing. I mean, it's definitely either Fitz Magic or maybe Heineke. We don't know, but you're taking Fitz Magic
Yeah,
because you
I'm
have to
taking
because the
Fitzpatrick.
experience,
Yeah, yeah.
because the experience. And then there's also Jalen Hurts, someone that could potentially be that franchise guy going forward. If you're drafting him, you're now putting him in long term success with that squad around
Mhm.
him. But I like your team a
Let,
lot.
let
I
me
think
ask you this. I was debating this in my head. Would you have taken the if you had taken Hertz or Fitzmagic and I draft uh receiver on the football team instead? What do you think?
would I take
Do you,
Ertz?
would you take Hertz over Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Yeah, I had Hertz as my number two, just because of the fact that like Hertz is younger, like he just came out of college
Mhm.
recently. I believe it was our freshman year, 2020, 2019 was when he was drafted of college. And he's coming out of a Lincoln Riley offense. And that's someone that, is highly regarded in college football, top three college football head coach. And I mean, obviously, I mean, think about it. Like we just talked about in the last episode, the Eagles just got rid of Carson Wentz and for someone like him. So they believe in him. They think that
Mhm.
he's the next guy, but the Eagles don't have the talent to test that, to see it. So that's the way I looked at it. I felt like if I were to, give him an opportunity to succeed, that would be my best opportunity, given the fact that his upside is undetected. We don't know what it is. And he only played 5 games, and even though his stats weren't the prettiest, I think he had 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, something along that lines. I'm not sure if that's 100% correct, but nonetheless, um, I don't know. For me personally, I would do that. But I totally see where you're coming from. I mean, Fitz, he's the freakish personality, and he can go out there on Sundays and pull off crazy wins, and that's what you want when you have a stacked team. So it can go both ways. If I were to go over my team real quick, I mean, I got
Mhm.
quarterback Dak Prescott. He's just the consensus number one. I mean, this is the jewel of the crown of the NFC East, and you just can't pass on him. You can't pass on him. The quarterback position is the most promising and it's the most monumental position of football. But on top of that, I think that the most important position of football is it's one in the trenches, and I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. It's crazy. Once we're doing this, it's crazy to think like how much talent Dak actually has around him. That's something we could talk about later.
Mhm.
And moving on with my receivers, I got Kenny Galladay and I got Scary Terry. Those are both two big bodies, two good guys, two great football players. I mean, if you look at Kenny Galladay, I mean, he's been helping out Matthew Stafford, being the consistent quarterback that he is, eventually to the point where, he finally said his farewell and went out to LA and is trying to get a ring now. And he very much can, if you look at what's on that team. So, Galladay, you got to take a big man like him. You got to put him next to a quarterback like Dak Prescott. With that offensive line, absolutely elite. You have an offensive line that can block, that can spread out. You don't have to worry about any edge presence coming. Dak's good. He just got an injury, but he'll be better now. It's the best chance for him to withstand that injury. And moving on, Scary Terry, like you said, huge sleeper. I mean, he cracked 1,000 yards. I mean, this man means business. I want to get depth. I want more options. You got 2 potential wide receiver ones there for him. Tight end Ingram. I mean, I'm not ecstatic having Ingram. I think I'd rather having a Zach Ertz on my team. But I think both of us realize that he's the best player on the Birds. He's the face of the Birds right now. I
Mhm.
had Ertz. I really liked him. I just didn't know when to get him. I didn't know
Yeah.
when. I think it's kind of an awkward thing just to bust out, but I totally respected it when you did that.
No, I
Um,
had to because Eagles don't have much options, like in my opinion. Because I had, wide receivers over them. I didn't want to get them for the secondary, like you ended up with them. Talk about that.
Yeah, no, I shot myself in the foot because this was my top three. I have it written down in this little
Mhm.
journal. I was writing in this journal. It's Dak, Dallas defense, and Giants secondary. That's what I was thinking because like those are the three most important things. But I don't know. I just the moments of this, the experience of this just got the best of me. And like, tell me if I'm right or tell me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know. But were you looking for a Galladay and a Saquon? Did I read your mind or was I wrong? Did you always want that secondary?
Oh no, definitely. I mean, I definitely was reading Galladay because those are my guys, and I made that point about the wide receiver one. But Cooper being there, like I had a feeling because in my mind I was going with my number one pick, so I would have picked Dak first, and that would have changed everything completely for both of us. But because I'm sure you would have picked Cooper if I picked Dak first. I mean, because there's just so many options here, and I picked Saquon first actually, and I thought if you picked Cooper next, I would have landed Galladay, but Galloway. So I wanted to get the main positions out of the way. It was Saquon, getting, wide receiver one and Cooper, who I have over Galloway right now. And if he fell to me, I would definitely like to pair them up.
But you were looking for that secondary, that
I was
Giants
looking for the I
secondary.
was looking for the Giants secondary because I feel like they had the best. And if it wasn't for the Giants, I probably would have picked the Washington football team. And but I just had the football team in other places. I wanted the football team for my D line because of Chase Young. I wouldn't have minded getting Scary Terry. I wouldn't have minded getting Logan Thomas if that was the case. Tight end for them. Wouldn't have minded getting, was it Gabriel, the running back for that team? Wouldn't have minded getting, him either. So they have JD McKissick as well. So, it was just the way like the draft went. I had to stray away from Galloway.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like how this could have unfolded. So it went Dak, then it went Saquon, and then after that I went Dallas offense, and then you said Coop, right?
Yeah, Cooper, yeah.
Yeah, you said Cooper, and
So
then
so so let me hypothetically, if I drafted Dak first, who are you picking?
Dallas offensive line.
Really? Number
No,
one.
yeah, no, because I still because I looking back, if I were to fix one thing, and I'll ask that question to you,
Mhm.
I would definitely say Kenny Galladay, you can have him, and I would take the Giants secondary because like you're drafting a whole unit, and like if you look at what this Giants team did, you said it before, and like this you can argue it's a top secondary in this league. So there's a lot of heads there. It's a huge package. It's too good to pass up on. Yeah, and I feel like I doubled up on the wide receivers like a lot. Like I was very quick to take my second receiver off the board.
Yeah,
I think I should have been more flexible with that. And like, yeah, so there's a lot of Giants I could have gone. I could have gone Shep. I could have gone Tate. Or no, Tate's gone.
it's
But
gone. Could have gotten a bunch of guys they have.
Clayton, yeah.
Yeah,
So I think
man.
I shot myself in the foot there with that.
And the one regret that I'm thinking about is, maybe not getting the Eagles as my D line, making that the Cowboys and making Hurts my QB because I mean I think you might be right. You might be right with Jalen Hurts with over Fitzmagic because in my head I put Jalen Hurts on the Washington football team and I thought they were a better team. So that right there told me something. And it's probably because of Hurts' ability to move in the pocket. He won some games for the Eagles, and that might be getting into me. But Fitzmagic is slept on. I'm happy with my QB. He's going to be the captain in the locker room, and he's going to lead these guys to victory, hypothetically, of course.
Hey, I just remembered something. So, this Eagles secondary, yeah, I low key kind of wish I got the Cowboys secondary because then you have Parsons now, Micah
Yeah.
Parsons. So like I was just remembering that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, hypothetically, I got Ron Rivera coming in, and you look at what
He
he
could
did
change
with
something.
Washington football team. So I think that the culture can still be changed. And yeah, Eagles, they had Ronald Darby. He's not on the team anymore. But they were ranked 20th. And I know it's a weak point, but there's always going to be weak points on a football team. And I
Mm-hmm.
just prioritized that line. And so I got a top 10 quarterback. I got a top 6 offensive line. I got a guy in Miles Sanders. that ran for 867 yards last season. So, like I said before, I think that offensive line, it's automatically going to get just better for him. And then I got the Pro Bowler, Evan Ingram, a hybrid player. I mean, I know we don't really like him on this podcast, but
We hate.
yeah, we don't really like him, but it is what it is. Maybe Dak can make him let a fire under his ass, make him do something. And then I got Kenny Galladay, Terry McLaren, someone who had 1,118 yards. And then I got the Washington football team D line. So listen, I believe that this Washington football team D line, who had 47 sacks, this was just in Chase Young's rookie season. We're going to see things better from Chase Young. I mean, people say that he can be a Joey Bosa, that he's already playing like it, that he could be a Nick Bosa. He's already playing like it. So if he can become even better, if there's a higher ceiling that can't be contained, I don't mind having the Eagles secondary 20th overall. I mean, think about it. Do you think about it? Like, you don't need that CB1, that true secondary. If you have a defense like that, then edge presence that's just getting after the quarterback over and over again. I got Chase Young. I'm good.
Yeah, no, I mean, looking at your team at full potential, look at both teams at full potential. It's looking like a Pro Bowl game, and that you forget about these guys in the NFC East because they lack the win totals usually. And the Cowboys are going to be Cowboys, but you don't have Mike McCarthy as your head coach. You don't have Jason Garrett as your head coach. You have Ron Rivera. So I see your point here, trying to transform the Eagles secondary, make them work, and have the Eagles D line. And in Joe Judge's season with the Giants, he made that D line work. He fixed Leonard Williams, got him a bag by he sacked like 9 guys, and Cat got his money. So I feel like he could put a fire under Fletcher Cox, the big boy, and Brandon Graham, Super Bowl 50 hero. So we'll have graphics for each team. We'll put a poll on the story. And next week we'll say who won, and we'll keep a tally. There's 6 divisions, and if it's a tie, or we could do this for this just in case it's 3-3. We could do the entire NFL at one point in draft, just same format. What's up? Obviously we can't pick 2 players from each team, but just have a whole NFL draft. But yeah, this was fun, and I'm looking forward to next week. What should we do next? We should do the AFC East next week, probably. Just keep the East and then the West and just go on.
Sounds good. Let us know who won. Is it Team Jarod or is it Team Brennan? What's going on here? Is it Team Rivera, Team Judge? Let us know. Comments below.
Yeah.